What's up, people? I'm back with a weekly analysis update. So here I'm going to be going through all of my open positions using my swing strategy, and on the free video I'll also run through 3 setups that I've got for the coming week, and then on the premium side of things I'll run through all of these setups that I'm looking at, and also an update on when we're going to stop loss to break even, any take profits, if we're looking to close out of any positions early, etc, etc. So it's currently the 13th of November 2023. You'll have to excuse me if I've got a little bit of brain fog. I'm still a little bit of jet lagged at the minute, so if I muddle my words up or stuff like that, please forgive me, as I've basically gone without sleep and slept on planes and stuff like that, so brain's still a little bit cloudy at the minute, but I'm all good to run through my strategy, as it's pretty much just muscle memory at this point. So to get things started, we've got Aussie CAD. This one we're looking at either the 3-day or weekly time frame. As you can see, if my mouse will let me, the 3-day EMA has been respected pretty strongly in unison with the weekly. Ultimately it is the weekly that we're looking at, but it was also respected on the 3-day. But yeah, the weekly is the prominent one here. So what we had is we had the EMA being respected. As you can see, price would come up and wick down and fail to close above, like we saw on our entry. Oh, didn't mean to move that there. It was we were looking for the third touch of this trend line in unison with the EMA, in unison with the fib from this weekly high down to the significant low here. Looking for an entry in between our zone, so between 78.6 and 71. Then we broke it down further and said, okay, what quarter levels have we got in between? So it was between 88.6 and 88.90. So the quarter level was 88.75, which is what we looked for here. Once price did come up to that zone, we looked for a daily candlestick rejection, which we got. We had this sort of shooting star or inverted hammer, whatever you want to call this one. But from there, we were able to decide, okay, this is showing as rejection in line with all the other zones that we're looking at. So we set our sell limits there. Price came up, decided for a few days whether it's going to reverse or not, and now we're seeing the reversal. So we get back on my weekly time frame. From here, now we're basically waiting for price to hit the 1-to-1 level. At that point, we'll set our stops to break even on this position, and then we'll look to take 50% of profits here, 25% there, and 25% there. So all in all, this is a 4.5R trade. It's looking pretty nice at the minute. We're just waiting to get that stop loss to break even to start running it risk-free. Aussie JPY on the 3-day. Same story for entry here, except we didn't get the rejection straight away. However, what I looked for here was essentially these lows to get liquidated, and you could tell from the 3-day that it was going to be pretty fast, the way the chart was moving. So I pretty much set my eyes on this level to wipe out that triple bottom. But in line with the strategy, I looked for the entry on the quarter level, so on the 0.5. So saw the price was moving pretty rapid. As you can see, the daily movement here was just fucking huge. So I set the buy limit on the quarters level. I could do that because the quarters level was actually below our zone, making it a nice 6.4R trade. So this one, we've just hit our first take profit recently. Recently in swing trading terms, that is. All the day traders are going to see this and think, how is that recent? But yeah, we hit our first take profit for 50% of 3.66. So we took just over 1.8% from that trade. Same again, we're going to take 25 there and 25 there to get us 6.38 total from that position. On to the next one, we have CAD JPY, which is pretty similar. This was on the 2-day, looking at the EMAs. So we have an active trade still from July, earlier this year, which is still running. It's hit the first take profit, it's hit the second take profit, so we've just got a 25% runner on the third take profit, which will make 5R in total. We found a re-entry here after the first one was, after the first take profit was hit on the first position. I allow myself to look for re-entries. The second TP was hit, then price came back down, and we were able to get a similar setup on the 2-day time frame. So same again, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. We've got the EMA support, got all our confluences. Price came down, we had the rejection, and then we entered within our zone for price to push higher. This one is now stop loss to break even. If you don't know what that means, essentially, if price comes back down to our entry point, we get stopped out, and we just make nothing from the trade, but also lose nothing either. So it's a good risk management technique if you don't know what stop loss to break even is, and I utilize it in this swing strategy. Euro Aussie dollar, same situation as CAD JPY. Is we've got a position that's still running from June, earlier on this year. The first 2 take profits have been hit. It's just a 25% runner. 3-day. Similar thing, was following this trend, looking at the fib levels, looking at our zone, looking at the quarters level, and we managed to get a nice push up. Price is now break even. Let me just pull that out a little bit. Stop loss are at break even, sorry. So we're now just waiting for price to push up and hit the take profits. Euro Swiss. This is one that you can still get entries on right now, so there's a little freebie for you. 3-day time frame. EMA has been respected twice previously. We're looking for the third touch of this trend. As you can see, price came up, had a little bit of a reversal with a good week of just sideways action, so we managed to get a trade off of there. You could say I entered a little early, but I don't think I did. Price came up, we had a daily rejection. From there, price was above our 2 zones on the fib. I'll just show you there, price was above our zones that we typically look for. Although I was looking for this level where all the wicks sort of meet here within this 0.965 area, which price is coming up and retesting now. So hopefully after this final retest, price pushes back down. But yeah, there's an entry for you guys, free of charge. So yeah, same old. Got all the confluences. This will be a nice 5.6R trade. Euro GBP. This was looking nice on the daily for me. So we've just hit our TP1 yesterday, or on Friday, should I say. So that cashed in a nice about 1.2% cashed out of there. Just waiting for price to push up to the other TPs. What we normally do see is you get a little bit of a reaction off the first take profit, since this is a significant level in the market, hence we take profits in the first place. But what you usually see is when price does, it bounces down a little bit and comes back up. That's why once price has hit my first TP, I will look to see if there's a suitable re-entry. So I'll keep eyes on this and update throughout the week. But yeah, all looking pretty nice here. We had a pretty picture perfect entry from the 86.5 level. So I'll go down and see how that was looking. So we had this trend here. We had the fib levels on the lower time frames. Since this is a daily trade, I'll look on the lower time frames. I see we got a nice rejection candle there, so we were able to set the limit at our perfectly desired level, which was the quarters level within our zone. So you see price literally hit that perfectly, which just further backs up the reason to use quarters levels in swing trading, as they're the levels that I like to think banks are looking at. You know, banks aren't really looking to enter at 0.865491. They're going to pick the nice round psychological level that's in the zone that we look for, because obviously price works in zones, not exact levels. So better to think like the banks than trade too much like retail. So yeah, this was a pretty nice entry. Went from entry to TP1 pretty perfectly. Hopefully we don't get stopped out and price keeps pushing higher, but even if we do get stopped out, we're risk free and we've already cashed in 1.2%. So yeah, just a great way to trade, really. On to the next one, pound Aussie dollar. believe this is the 3-day as well. Yep, 3-day. So here, price was supported by the 3-day EMA since February earlier this year, so pretty strong support there. We've seen the previous rejection from it directly in September. Price had a push up. Now we're basically looking for the third touch of this trend line, in line with the EMA, in line with our fib levels, in line with the quarters levels. So we managed to get a nice entry there after this day of rejection. So that should ideally be there if we've been accurate. But yeah, just waiting for price to hit our 1-to-1 level, which was also this previous high. Then we'll see if we want to go break even, stop loss to break even or not. But for the moment, yeah, this one's just running up. Pound Aussie dollar. New Zealand JPY on the 3-day. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3rd touch. EMA was pretty strong on the 3-day. As you can see, it's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times before. So we were looking for the level which it was going to marry up at once price did have a dump. We entered bang on 87 as price sort of came down to the 61.8 and was showing a lot of candlestick rejections. We had 1, 2, could call that a third, but I'd say 2 strong daily rejection candles. So we were able to get the entry off the 87. And then since there, we had what would have been a lot of drawdown to intraday traders, but for us it's really not that much. Stops below the low. This will be a nice 4.2R trade, just waiting for it to hit our first TP. Swiss on the weekly. Weekly EMA being respected. This trend has proved strong. You can see how the trend line was rejected on the weekly. Candles broke above it 2 weeks in a row, but never broke above. So this was a great sign of confluence for us. We had a nice shooting star on the 2-day, which got us the entry. Now prices hit 1-to-1. Stops are at break even. Just wait for this to dump in the following weeks. CAD Swiss, this is one that we got a while ago. I was scared that this one was going to get stopped out, to be honest, but luckily we had the stops at 5% above the previous level, so we were pretty safe there. This one's risk-free, just sort of waiting for price to come down and hit the TP1, as always. Check out the 3-day. Yeah, you can see the EMA on the 3-day was being respected. But there was this instance here. This one was alright, but this instance here where price broke above, so I was more going off the weekly. So yeah, we were looking at the weekly as the higher time frames are generally more respected. So we managed to get a nice entry here. Like I say, we did hold a little bit of drawdown, but it was just sort of waiting for that weekly EMA to be respected. The stops were above the previous high, so we had plenty of room to breathe. Just waiting for this one to play out now. Right, so let's get into the free analysis that I'll give out on this video. The premium channel is currently only £40 a month or £39.99 a month. And then you'll get access to the full amount of setups here, which is a pretty solid price at the minute. I'm only really just getting started with it, so the value is pretty high at the minute as the price is pretty low. You'll definitely make more than £40 a week back from these setups if you trade them properly. So yeah, it's pretty much a bargain. But let's kick things off. Aussie Swiss, we had 1 touch, 2 touch, looking for the 3rd touch here on the 3-day time frame, which has been respected pretty nicely. You'll notice price did come up here, but I'm not entered yet. That's because we've not had the proper rejections, right? So we had this one rejection, which gave us enough reason to take the trade. But by the time that I saw this rejection, price would have been like down here, well, anywhere below here essentially. Therefore, it's not at my setup area, so I'm not going to rush and take it and sacrifice my rules. Once I've had the daily rejection, then I'll start looking to enter. So at the moment, I've got my sell limit set up here. If this would have happened higher up and I was still able to catch an entry like here at the 71 bare minimum, I would have taken it, but I didn't. I missed it. So we stay patient. We'll look for price to come back up to our entry, which by the look of this candle, it's definitely going to come up. I was trying to remember the whole Japanese name for that, but I just remember it as it's like a little pregnant baby inside of this candle. So price is going to rise up there. Can't remember the name of this candlestick, but you don't need to know all these names. Like, you only really need to remember all these simple names like the dojis and the shooting stars and the hammers. Anyone trying to sell you courses about here's the 58 Japanese candlesticks and all of that, you don't need to know them. You don't need to know the names. You just need to know the principles of how they work, right? And what to look for. So here, this is suggesting price should shoot higher. Hopefully we get an entry. If not, it's not the end of the world. It's nothing to cry about. I'll not get an entry myself if that's the case, and I'm not worried. So all that we're waiting for is price to come up, hit our limit, and come back down in line with the strategy. Sheaf JPY. Maybe I'll not do this one because it's not really ready yet. Basically, we've got a trend. We've got a trend line, but it doesn't look like price is on its way back down yet. So I'll skip over that one. And Euro JPY will be the same. Right, Euro New Zealand dollar. On the 3-day / weekly, I think weekly looks better, yeah. So the weekly EMA has been respected since last year. So there's been no time in the whole of 2023 where price has managed to close below the EMA, which is a great way to think about it as a support line, right? So we've got this support line. We've got it in line with the third touch of a trend, we hope. We've got a significant low and a significant high that we can draw fib levels from. We have a psychological or a quarters level in our desired fib zones. So what we're waiting for here is price to come down, show some form of rejection where price is moving sideways, and then we'll look to enter for a buy to take price all the way up here, which is pretty much the swing strategy. This is a pretty basic outlook of it, guys, so I might make things look easy. There's a lot more that gets thrown into it that I'm not obviously showing on free videos, but here's the gist of it. As you can see from the open positions and my record, it works. You have an edge. There might be times where it doesn't work. Obviously, it's not a science. Trading is not a science. Just because all these confluences are met doesn't mean that price will move up. So don't be like taking your life savings and betting it on one trade. There is still a chance that price will come down and hit your stops. But with the win rate and with the risk reward and with the way that we trade with risk management, we have an edge, which is all you need. Most people would sell their own grandmother for this edge. Just know how to use it properly. So yeah, here's the second setup. Just waiting on price to come down, show some form of rejection. I'll be sending out alerts to the group when we do get rejection, when we're looking for entry. And this should be a nice 4.7 trade. Finally, we have GCAD on the daily. I would even be as cheeky as to say you could get this on 12-hour, but I don't really like the 12-hour as a time frame. So we'll have a look on the daily. So you can see prices broke above the daily, and it's been respected since the end of October, 27th of October. So price came up, rejected it here. We're looking for another rejection from the EMA there. So we have 1 touch, 2 touch here, making a trade. I will just show on the 12-hour just because it looks a lot neater. But as you can see, the 12-hour is not really held the same as the daily. But you can see the candles a lot easier on the 12-hour. So we're essentially same thing, looking for price to come down here, show some form of rejection, and then we'll look to take the trade higher for a 4.5R. As long as all of our entry criteria is met and price is looking like it's about to reverse, then we'll get in the trade. But I hope this has been a valuable lesson. You've been given free setups, so track them, see how they get on. It's literally free money, guys, and free value, free education, because looking at all these setups, you're getting a pretty brief and basic overview of the strategy and proof that it works, guys. So wishing you a very good rest of the week, as it's only Monday. This video will probably get thrown up tomorrow, but it's Monday at the time of recording this. So yeah, take it easy, guys. I'll post a link to join the premium channel. Like I said, it's only $39.99 a month. That's £40. The value that you'll get out of this is literally going to pay you back. So it's a case of spending money to make money, but more so the information that you're getting by me giving away the strategy. So yeah, have a nice rest of the week, guys. Check out the premium channel, and I'll see you next week.